Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion.
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh boy.
$400 million in damages from Blake Lively and her husband, Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds.
Turn now to the feud between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. He's now suing the actress and husband, Ryan Reynolds, for $400 million over alleged.
Justin also leveled accusations at Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, for being aggressive while defending the Gossip Girl actor.
Imagine waking up one morning to discover that one of Hollywood's rising stars has launched a $400 million lawsuit. Not against a major studio, not against a network, but against one of the most powerful celebrity couples in entertainment today. Yes, Justin Baldoni, the charming actor turned producer best known for Jane the Virgin and his recent inspirational film projects, did just that, filing a jaw-dropping legal complaint accusing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds of torpedoing a major deal that could have changed the course of his career. But here's the kicker. The entire case was just thrown out of court.
A judge has dismissed altogether the $400 million defamation lawsuit filed by director Justin.
So what happened behind the scenes of this multi-million-dollar standoff? Was this lawsuit a desperate attempt by Baldoni to save a crumbling empire? Or was there truth to his explosive claims of betrayal and sabotage? And what did the judge say that left Baldoni reeling and Reynolds and Lively completely vindicated? This story has everything: money, power, Hollywood egos, and a courtroom bombshell that no one predicted. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how it all unraveled and what could happen next. But first, let's rewind. Because the events leading up to this $400 million courtroom drama are as tangled as a blockbuster plot. Justin Baldoni wasn't just aiming to be another actor with a production company. He was dreaming big, really big. With Wayfarer Studios, Baldoni envisioned a new wave of meaningful, socially conscious entertainment. Films that didn't just entertain, they inspired. He had millions in investments riding on projects that were meant to shift the narrative in Hollywood. Among these was a project that, according to him, would have been a game changer. A project allegedly derailed by none other than Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But how did two actors, known more for charm than controversy, become the alleged villains in a $400 million lawsuit? Was it really sabotage, or a case of Hollywood politics spun wildly out of control? Let's dive into the allegations that set the stage for this legal showdown. According to the complaint, Baldoni's studio was deep into negotiations on a high-profile film distribution deal. The numbers? Staggering. The potential reach? Global. The project was allegedly aligned with some of Baldoni's most ambitious, values-driven content. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it all fell apart. Why? Baldoni's legal team claimed that Blake and Ryan, through personal influence and backroom interference, caused the collapse of the deal. How? Supposedly by undermining his credibility with key stakeholders. The lawsuit painted a picture of whispered warnings, withdrawn support, and a strategic power play that left Baldoni out in the cold. But was there any proof? That's where things started to fall apart. From the moment the lawsuit went public, speculation ran wild. Tabloids circled like vultures. Social media erupted. Everyone had an opinion. Yet through it all, Blake and Ryan stayed silent. No tweets, no statements, not even a cryptic Instagram story. And in Hollywood, silence isn't just golden, it's often strategic. Were they protecting themselves legally? Or was their silence an admission of nothing to hide? The media couldn't decide. Meanwhile, Baldoni kept pushing forward with the case, vowing to hold powerful figures accountable for derailing his vision. Was he fighting for justice or fighting a losing battle? Court records show the hearing was swift, but damning. The judge reviewed the evidence, contracts, communications, witness statements, or rather, the lack thereof. There were no emails implicating Blake or Ryan, no clear-cut financial trail showing manipulation, no formal documents proving interference. The legal term used? Speculative at best. The ruling stated that Baldoni's claims failed to meet the legal threshold for tortious interference or defamation. The language was clear, sharp, and final. In short, case dismissed.
Federal judge in New York dismisses Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against Blake Lively.
And just like that, a $400 million lawsuit was tossed out of court like yesterday's script rewrite. But was that the end? Or just the beginning of another chapter? The judge's ruling sent shockwaves through the industry. For Baldoni, it was more than just a courtroom loss. It was a reputational hit. Investors began asking questions. Industry insiders whispered about trust. Studios reevaluated deals. Some even wondered, had Baldoni overreached? Or worse, had he tried to weaponize the court system in a personal vendetta? Meanwhile, Blake and Ryan walked away unscathed, their brands as strong as ever. Ryan's latest film was topping box office charts. Blake's fashion ventures were thriving, and not a single comment made about the case. Were they lucky, protected, or just innocent? Legal experts say Baldoni still has one card to play, an appeal, but it's a long shot. To succeed, he'd need to produce actual new evidence, solid, direct, undeniable, not vague claims or hearsay. And appeals aren't just about evidence, they're expensive, time-consuming, public. Does Baldoni have the stamina and support to keep fighting, or will he step away, regroup, and focus on rebuilding his image? His team remains tight-lipped, but whispers suggest he may shift strategy, turning the experience into something else entirely. A film, maybe? A cautionary tale? In Hollywood, anything can be monetized. But would people watch? Beyond the headlines, beyond the verdict, this case pulled back the curtain on something much deeper in the entertainment industry. It exposed the fragile nature of influence. In a world built on relationships, reputation is everything. One bad headline can kill a deal. One unreturned call can ruin months of work. And as this case showed, even a whiff of celebrity interference, true or not, can lead to legal action. But it also showed that courts need more than Hollywood drama. They need facts, no matter how compelling the story is. As news of the dismissal spread, online forums lit up. Some fans defended Baldoni fiercely, calling him brave for standing up to industry titans. Others mocked the lawsuit, branding it a PR stunt gone wrong. Memes surfaced, YouTubers picked sides, Twitter threads went deep. But one thing was clear, people cared. This wasn't just about a lawsuit. It was about how power operates in the shadows of fame, about how quickly support can vanish, and how even well-intentioned creators can fall. So was Baldoni a casualty of Hollywood's unwritten rules, or did he break them himself? Blake and Ryan may have won in court, but not without cost. For weeks, their names were tied to terms like lawsuit, sabotage, and scandal in trending topics. Even without evidence, accusations linger. And in the court of public opinion, perception is everything. Will this episode eventually fade from memory, or will it shadow their future deals, endorsements, or philanthropic ventures? They've built a reputation for integrity and charm. But will they address the case now that it's over, or keep the silence that won them the round? As the dust settles, one thing is clear. The courtroom may have closed the case, but the conversation isn't over. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit didn't just fail, it opened up Pandora's box of uncomfortable questions. How much influence do A-list stars really have behind the scenes? Are Hollywood deals more fragile than we realize? And when reputation becomes currency, who's really holding the power? Whether Baldoni decides to appeal or walk away, whether Blake and Ryan stay silent or finally speak, one thing's for sure. The industry is watching, and so are we. Because in Hollywood, the most shocking stories are never just fiction. They're real, messy, expensive, and sometimes just beginning. Behind the lawsuit was a question no one dared ask publicly. Did Baldoni and Reynolds have friction long before the legal filing? Insiders hint at creative tensions simmering beneath the surface. Both men are charismatic, ambitious, and driven by their own brand of storytelling. Baldoni leans into vulnerability, ethics, and emotional depth. Reynolds, known for his sharp wit, rules the comedy action space with mass market appeal. Were they competing for the same investors? Did Baldoni feel boxed out of a Hollywood boys club where people like Ryan had the golden keys? While none of this was presented as evidence in court, the whispers painted a compelling picture of rivalry, even if unspoken. So was this lawsuit sparked by business or bruised egos? While Ryan Reynolds has built a global fan base through franchises and humor, Blake Lively's power lies elsewhere: strategic influence, style authority, and off-camera connections. Sources say Blake holds enormous sway in Hollywood's branding circles. With her lifestyle ventures and high-fashion cachet, she is often the quiet force in major negotiations. Could that kind of influence have spooked Baldoni's backers? Was her alleged involvement a catalyst, or just circumstantial? And if she had no direct involvement, as the court found, why did Baldoni include her by name? Was it legal strategy, or something more personal? One of the key reasons the judge dismissed the case. No paper trail? Despite sweeping allegations of intentional disruption, Baldoni's team couldn't produce a single written document, email, memo, text that directly tied Blake or Ryan to any sabotage. And in the eyes of the law, that's fatal. In court, drama doesn't win, documents do. But this raises another question. If Baldoni truly believed they torpedoed his deal, why couldn't he prove it? Were his partners afraid to testify? Did backdoor politics keep people silent? Or was the whole thing based on rumors dressed up as facts? Ask any producer and they'll tell you. In Hollywood, the rules that matter aren't written in contracts. They're whispered over lunches, brokered through relationships, and enforced through silence. One cold call from the wrong person, and $1 million project vanishes. Was Baldoni trying to expose this shadow economy? If so, the courtroom wasn't the place to do it. His claims may have resonated emotionally, but legally, they lacked teeth. Still, they exposed something valuable: how deals live and die based on trust, not truth. So, is that why Baldoni lost? Because he played by written rules in an unwritten world? Public perception is unpredictable, and after the dismissal, the spotlight turned. Baldoni's allies began distancing themselves. Even previously loyal investors hesitated. Meanwhile, Ryan and Blake's image, once at risk, seemed to rebound stronger. They played the long game, stayed quiet, and let the system work. Marketing experts now cite their handling of the scandal as a masterclass in reputation management. But can Baldoni do the same? Can he rebuild his brand after such a public blow? Or will he be remembered not for the movies he made, but for the case he couldn't win? The lawsuit gained traction not just because of the money, but because of the names. It was tailor-made for viral headlines. Handsome actor sues Hollywood's golden couple for hundreds of millions. Every entertainment blog, podcast, and TikTok commentator ran with it. But few followed the court documents. Few examined the evidence. In the age of clickbait, does truth matter less than traffic? Was Baldoni's case amplified by algorithms more than advocacy? And what happens when a real legal battle becomes just another trending topic? Post-dismissal, insiders are talking more openly. Some say Baldoni's legal team warned him not to pursue the case without stronger evidence. Others believe he was pressured by advisors to make a stand while his company struggled behind the scenes. Was the lawsuit a genuine cry for justice or a last-ditch branding strategy? And if it was the latter, was the fallout worth it? These are the questions agents, managers, and publicists are now quietly debating behind closed doors, because no one wants to be the next headline casualty. The lawsuit may be over, but its message lingers. For independent creators, the case is a warning. It shows just how dangerous it can be to challenge Hollywood's elite without irrefutable proof. But it also shines a light on how easily projects can crumble, no matter how visionary, when unseen forces intervene. Will more creators speak out? Will studios demand transparency? Or will everyone go back to business as usual until the next explosion? As the saga fades from mainstream attention, a few haunting questions remain. What really happened behind those closed-door meetings? Why did Baldoni risk everything? And did the legal system deliver justice or simply protect the powerful? We may never get answers, but this much is clear. This wasn't just a lawsuit. It was a clash of vision, ego, and power. And in a town built on stories, sometimes the messiest ones are the most revealing.